Yo, 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 it's your boy Onte, man, and welcome back to Alpha Talk episode 17. It's been a very long time. I am super excited to be back on the mic. I love you, Mike, and I really missed you a lot. I tried to come in maybe like almost 3 weeks ago, and like it felt like it was a super, super long time. This stupid Texas storm came out of nowhere, but before I get into the details today, this podcast is sponsored by Alpha Gaming. What is Alpha Gaming? Alpha Gaming is my very own gaming team that I have. I have an 8-man squad right now, and our main focus right now is Warzone and Cold War. So, if you want to be on the team, or if you just want to like learn about more stuff, or like learn how to stream, you can always reach me at Alpha Gaming Team underscore on Instagram. I'm not gonna put my personal number out there. So, but this podcast is also sponsored by DNT Investments. What is DNT Investments? DNT Investments is my dad's and my stepmom's company. They work on rent homes and they also put them back on the market for you guys. So you can hit them back at 254-334-9240. But for today's podcast, for this episode, uh, it was supposed to have a guest, but I'm gonna be solo dolo, I guess. So I guess my solo shows are my best shows, which I'm low key rhyming right now, but everything's good. But for the first topic I want to get into was this Texas storm, man, and how crazy it was when we seen it coming. And my job made me go to work on Tuesday for no reason, and it was absolutely the worst experience ever. My toes was frozen, and it felt like I was limping everywhere. I literally almost had to crawl because my toes was so frozen, like ridiculously frozen. But my thing is, I'm on this Texas storm, right? Don't get me wrong, it was very wild and like honestly a very cool experience because my dog for his first time actually got to play in some snow, but it was pretty cool and I enjoyed it. But a lot of people didn't enjoy it and they actually kind of almost hated it in a way, which I mean I personally understand where a lot of people were coming from, but a lot of things that I've been seeing on social media about this Texas snowstorm and like just all this crazy stuff that I've been seeing lately, and like I said in the beginning of the year on the most couple of podcasts ago, like I said, I've been sitting on the bench this year, and I'm not trying to associate myself on social media to talk about any politics or like any crazy world stuff. If I'm gonna talk about it, it's gonna be on my podcast and on my podcast only. If I have a guest or if I'm solo dolo, but me realizing sitting back sometimes, I mean sitting back now, I realize like there's a lot of people on social media and Facebook in general, but and Twitter as well, but there's been a lot of people just pushing out all these like weird articles and just like almost I want to say like where these weird stories, like where these stories coming from, or like where they getting these like crazy ideas from, and it just goes to show you, man, like people will believe anything that they see on social media. It doesn't matter like if it's like a article or anything, but I just don't understand why a lot of people are hating on their own state due to the fact of what's been happening. Now, like we had a very crazy incident happen within this whole break of the storm and like people not being able to do certain things, but we had that crazy pileup on Highway 35, and rest in peace to all the people out there that passed away. But it was like a very crazy event for Texas in general and just the DFW area, right? And that was a very like emotional event, and I think that impacted the DFW in a very good way. But at the same time, it's like, come on now, that's it was. I never realized how much stuff was closed and like how much like chaos it was until like I actually left my house the day of like all the snow and ice on the ground. Like it was literally crazy. Like the streets was dead. If you went to Quick Trip, there was no snacks. Like there was no food. There was nothing in there. Like it was like a man for its own out here. And I just feel like a lot of people reacted to this situation very terrible. A lot of people didn't take this situation like very serious. Everybody, I'm gonna say it on the podcast. Everybody wants to play the blame game. They want to blame someone for the actions that was like happening in Texas, and a lot of people don't know how to hold accountability to themselves or like just accountability in general. Everybody wants to play the blame game, or they want to beg someone, or they want to just get attention for something without like actually just sitting down and realizing like maybe I can work myself through this situation and help my family out or help my community out or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, this snowstorm was like pretty intense. Like I was sliding everywhere, but at the same time I was low key enjoying it because I went to go to the open parking lots and do some drifts in my truck. So I had fun. But at the same time, like I was saying before, a lot of people were just pushing out these news, and I'm like, have you ever fact checked what you're saying or like what you're saying? Is it true or is it false? Like, cause there's no way. Some of the stuff that I seen is like, dude, bro, do you not have any like common sense for yourself to realize like what you're saying right now? Like, as you're typing and before you press post, like, do you realize like what you're saying right now? It sounds completely ridiculous. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it sounds ridiculous. I ain't gonna say no names, but if the shoe fits, it sounds ridiculous. If you're gonna get upset about what I'm saying right now, then obviously we know the shoe fits. Like people need to, if people want to be like the world savers or people want to be the next hero, but they also want to shame the country that they live in, or they want to shame current events, or they want to shame others when they're trying to learn something that they don't have a clue about, and that's not okay. How can you be Captain America, but you want to be Hawk and you want to destroy things whenever you get angry? I don't understand the concept of certain people and the certain things that they do. Uh, but I just feel like America, in general, takes situations not in the right way. Like obviously, what happened in Texas is wrong. Like a lot of people, electricity was going out and water was stopping. Like don't I think it was about maybe when I was in junior high. I think it was a snowstorm, not a snowstorm, but it snowed when I was in junior high. I can't remember. I think it was like maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago, however long. But that when that snowed happened, it wasn't as worse as it was like a couple of days ago, and I was like, holy moly, like that's crazy to think that it snowed like almost a decade ago, but this time this snow just like messed up everything. People houses was like no electricity, no power, no heat. And then at the same time, you couldn't even get food anywhere and all the grocery stores there were no power. So a lot of people had very messed up situations and a lot of people obviously needed some help and there really wasn't no help around. So I really feel like Texas in general as a state needs to be more prepared for situations like that because there's a lot of people that got left out being starved and stuff. Like that's absolutely crazy that a snowstorm can like make somebody electricity go out. Like I even had bad cell service. Like I couldn't even get on social media because of all the snow or whatever was going on. I just couldn't get on my phone at all. But a lot of people need to understand like if you live in a neighborhood or if you live in an apartment complex, and I live in GP, so shout out to Grand Prairie for like holding it down because none of my power went out, none of my water went out. Like I still had everything, so I'm very blessed for that to happen. But shout out to GP because our water isn't dirty. So, but if you live in a neighborhood or if you live in an apartment complex, and like I know on Twitter I seen this post where it was like this girl was like, I'm in my room freezing cold and I'm starting to catch pneumonia, if that's what it's called, I think. And like she was just like basically tweeting that she was in her room freezing to death. And I'm like, if you know for a fact you're in your room freezing to death, why aren't you getting up to go help yourself? Why aren't you getting up to do something? Why are you just gonna sit there and wait for help to come? What if the help never come? And that a lot of people rely on the government for everything. Like every single thing that there is, people rely on it. It's just like if the zombie apocalypse happened, are you gonna sit in your house and wait for the zombies to come get you? Are you gonna just walk out the door and thug it and basically fight for your life until the last day? And I bet you if you go and ask those a lot of people those questions, they're gonna say, "I'm gonna sit and wait for the government to come pick me up," which that's absolutely sad that we're relying on the government so much for a lot of resources and we all have it in our own community. Like if you live in a neighborhood and you live in apartments, and you know for a fact your whole neighborhood or you know for a fact your apartment electricity and water went out, what do you? My main thing would be like, okay, for instance, like let's say we lose cell service and we can't call 911 or we can't do anything. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try my best to go around to each door in my community, in my neighborhood, and try to get everybody round up to try to figure out, okay, look, bro, like how can we do this and figure it out as a team instead of like an individual being selfish in a way. Like, in order for America to thrive, we need to what? Everybody needs to be more helpful and be more happy with each other instead of being selfish and self-centered and not trying to like share their valuable things. Like, there's a lot of elderly people who were stuck in the cold, man. And I can only imagine how them old elderly people felt sitting in the cold like that. So, Texas in general, we need to work on fixing things. They need to fix all types of stuff, especially what happened that isn't okay, and y'all need to fix it. And I don't want to get in deep detail about certain things about what happened with the whole snowstorm and stuff like that, but I think a lot of people in the DFW area need to realize like the stuff that they have, like how everybody was jumping on the Ted Cruz situation and like jumping on the mayor and just doing all this stuff. But it's like, did you, at the end of the day, it's like, did you prepare yourself for this situation? Were you prepared? Like, did you have your resources together for you to survive this stuff? Like, if not, then it's like, stop playing the blame game and like blame yourself. And then for the next rodeo that happens, be more prepared for it and have your family situated. I'm gonna be on my what's that TV show? I think it's called The Bunkers. The people who build bunkers on the ground, like, oh, Doomsday. I'm gonna be on my Doomsday stuff next time. I'm ready for the zombie apocalypse, but I'm not ready for no snowstorm. I'll tell you that. And I also want to discuss um, a lot of men nowadays that happen in a snowstorm. Well, not happen, but the whole situation. There's a lot of men attacking each other, like men attacking each other on the situations. And like, if you go on Facebook now, you just see a lot of people that you either went to school with or like people that you grew up with who's like either like posting all these weird stuff or like they're just posting stuff. And like, and if you go on Twitter, Twitter's a whole different world now. Like, Twitter's a whole like community for itself. Like, how people are saying the landing on Mars is fake. How they're saying like, if the rich can fake it, then I mean, if the rich can buy things, then the rich can fake it. But it's like, why would the rich, if they have that much money, why would they want to fake it? Why wouldn't you think they want to like actually go try to explore with their money and figure out what's on Mars? You know, I personally don't think the Mars is fake. I don't think any of it was fake because how would it be? That would, yeah. That's a whole nother podcast. We'll get into that some other time. But yeah, I just think it's crazy that a lot of people would believe. I said this a long time ago in the tweet. I said that the truth is considered a hate crime now. If you tell somebody the truth, they look at you and like, oh well, that's fake, or you're a right, or you're a left, or you're a Democrat, or you're a Republican. It's not like we can actually sit down and have a conversation as a team. It's more of a, it's ha ha ha, it's your fault. I don't want to believe anything you say. I'm just gonna move on and keep my thoughts in my head and not spread it around. Even though you know for a fact, deep down, and what you're saying and what you're posting, you know deep down that that is not the truth, and you're still posting it. So what does that say to you? A lot of people that's out here posting this fake stuff and like trying to persuade people to believe something that isn't true, or they're attacking people. I personally think you need help. You have mental issues. You see things differently than what you're really supposed to see it. That isn't okay. And a lot of people, they need to hold themselves accountable. Why are you attacking people? I mean, it needs to be more of like a group to sit. I mean, a group talk. Like, um, when drug addicts go to, what is it called? I think AAU or AA classes like that. Like, it needs to be something like that, like an intervention or something. Like, it doesn't need to be a one man, one standing army out here like that. And a lot of people need to stop. Just stop completely. Take a break off social media. Don't delete it, because if a lot of people who listen to my podcast, or who just like in general, a lot of people they be on social media to handle their business. So don't delete social media. Just take a break for a second. Like, take a 30-day cleanse. Shout out to Paul PL. He said take a 30-day cleanse from toxic people and toxic platforms. And I promise you, you'll see a lot of improvement in yourself and the way you view things. And the friends you hang around, yeah, they're more than likely gonna push out the same exact stuff that they're saying is the same exact stuff that you're gonna say. So all your friends out there that's saying things that doesn't seem about are like true, I wouldn't believe it. Like, change your circle up. If you don't need to stop, if you need to stop talking to your best friend for a minute, it's cool. Then just be like, hey, bro, I need to take a break for a second and focus on myself and get myself being together. But other than that, I think it's okay with being yourself and just being solo dolo. A lot of people are scared to be solo, and a lot of people are they're scared to sacrifice their 20s. Why do I say that? Is because I'm in the process of sacrificing my 20s. I'm working a lot, and I have a lot of stuff like going on for myself. I got a podcast, I got a gaming team, I got other stuff going on. So it's like all these. Don't get me wrong. Do I want to go have fun and party and have fun? Yes, I would love to go have fun, get lit, get drunk with the guys, the gang, and party every night. But I just feel like if I don't sacrifice, if you, anybody out there, myself, if I don't sacrifice right now, when am I gonna have time to sacrifice? Eventually I plan on having a family. I plan on having kids. Maybe plan on getting another dog. So my life is gonna eventually be more busier. So it's like I'm not gonna have time to do the things that I really want to do. So I feel like for the people out there who's in their 20s and they're like out here partying every night, getting drunk, and just like not worrying about their self improvement. I feel like, bro, sacrifice something. Sacrifice something. Like it could be maybe taking a cleanse from you drinking alcohol or something. Like doesn't matter if you're in your 20s. We're talking about 20 year olds, 30 year olds, 40 year olds. If you're in your dang 70s and you still living the same life you've been living, that's because you have not made a sacrifice for yourself to enjoy. I mean, live the life that you want. We all want to get away from a 9 to 5, but it's like what are you doing in your daily habits to get you away from your 9 to 5? If you spend more time at your 9 to 5, you're not gonna have enough time to be an entrepreneur. You're not gonna have enough time to be a YouTuber. You need to spend. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck bad, but you need to spend equal time at equal places. You need to spend 50-50 at your 9 to 5 and 50-50 um at your entrepreneur or whatever it is that you want to do. You need to spend both times doing that. If not, then like from my homeboy at work said, Fernando, he said, I didn't plan on working at Estes for 20 years. It just happened. Why is because he didn't have enough time to do what he wanted to do. He wasn't happy with what he was doing, but it's like he has to feed his family, he has to survive. He waited too long to get his life on track, which there isn't an age for you to get your life on track, but it's like if you don't do it now, when are you gonna do it? You know what I mean? And a lot of people fail to realize that you need to take a sacrifice, bro. You need to get your life together. That has a lot to do with your mentality on social platforms. Like the things that you say on social media has a lot to do with how you move every day. Like if you're out here saying crazy stuff like why are the birds flying in the snow? What do you do on your day? Like how do you see things? How do you see things that make you say stuff like that? Like how do you like what's your view on your life? Like I'm going through a whole process of a change of lifestyle right now, and it absolutely feels good to do that. Like I'm taking a break from going out so much. Like yeah, I might drink here and there, but I'm actually working on my fitness. I'm working on my business, and I'm doing things that's making me happy. And a lot of people that go out every day, they might be like, "Oh yeah, I'm having fun. I'm getting lit." But it's like, are you happy at home? Are you taking care of your situations at home? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you taking care of your health or your wealth? And most people aren't. They're not doing that, and they like to play the blame game and blame other people for their actions. And a lot of people will go on social media and they'll take their anger out in the comment section, or they'll take their anger out with the next person, and that isn't okay. That need you need time to get your mental health together. Like your brain needs to be reorganized to make you realize like this is not okay. This life that I'm living is not okay. And I'm gonna get into this topic about a lot of men nowadays. Women too. A lot of women out here don't think you're not in this conversation, but you are in this conversation too. But this one's for the men. Like a lot of men are starting to become a lot more weaker now because a lot of men, man, and a lot of women, they're tricky. Don't get me wrong. Women are tricky and they can be a lot to deal with. But a woman will say that they want this out of a man. A man will give them what they want. But then it's like how can you ask for this, but you're not giving out the same energy that you want him to give you? Just like shout out to B Simone on social media, she was getting all that backlash because of what she said. And what she said was 100% true. And a lot of people don't know how to take true credit, bro. And it sucks because a lot of men nowadays, what do they have? They have OnlyFans accounts. They have a Pornhub account. They have a lot of Instagram models on their page. That right there weakens a man's self esteem down to a very low, low, low level. Like, how do you expect yourself to flirt with girls all day, but you know what I'm saying? You're in your room masturbating, or you're watching Instagram models all day. Like, that isn't gonna improve yourself with women. That's just gonna make you be how is it when you're in the bedroom? Like, you get too excited. Like, you don't know what it's like to see different women. A lot of men would expect the Instagram model that they see to be what every girl is supposed to look like, and that isn't true. Like, women are different, men are different. Everybody looks different. We're not all the same. Yeah, we might look the same color, but we all have different features in ourselves, and a lot of men fail to realize that. And people get persuaded by weird things, man, and it kind of hurts their life in a lot of ways. And a lot of young men out here are getting sucked into sucked into like a lot of like negative stuff. And as I was saying, man, you gotta get yourself right with God before you can with anyone else. Like, get yourself together before you can try to be in a relationship, or you can do anything like that. And it sucks to see a lot of young men get sucked into like this time warp vortex circle of women. And that's why women would be like, men ain't nothing, or men ain't this, men ain't that. But it's like, woman, are you getting yourself together? Are you getting your life together? Are you working on yourself? If you ain't doing that, then you shouldn't be over here talking about anyone else like that. And a lot of women will do that. They will manipulate a man to thinking like, this is what I need, this is what I want. And obviously a man's gonna feel super weakened inside because he's already weakened by what he sees on a daily basis and stuff like that. And a lot of men need to suck it up and be a man and be an alpha male. Women like alpha males. They don't like no, I don't want to say it, but we're gonna say PU money sign Y. They don't like no man like that. They need an alpha man to take care. At the end of the day, a woman wants a man to take care of the job. At the end of the day, yeah, she wants a man to take care of her, but she's like also wants a man that's gonna be there to be her protector, her knight in shining armor. If you can't be that, then obviously you have to move around. They have a lot of alpha women out here that are more alpha than men, and the ratio is absolutely upsetting to me personally. We need a lot of men and women need more self development. If I can make a self development course class, I would, but I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. So that's just in the plans of the Alpha Talk stuff. So yeah, we need more men to step up on the plate and not more women step up on the plate. And that's just how life works, I guess. So another topic that I also want to jump in for this episode was how the CIA has finally released, well, not released, but they're declassifying the notes and a whole bunch of information for aliens and UFOs. So if you're watching on YouTube, please go in the comment section and just tell me how you feel about the whole situation with the declassifying with aliens and UFOs and the whole JFK like situation. So if you're on YouTube, just go in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching it now on the live or if you're watching it after, just give me your opinion on the whole alien talk and just stuff like that. That's a topic that I would like to get and discuss with a guest on my podcast. So yeah, I will probably jump into that topic on the next podcast. So if you watch it now, give me some ideas or just give me a topic that I can go based off of that has something to do with declassifying the aliens and stuff like that. So shout out to my favorite president, JFK. I can't wait to get JFK tatted on me, but JFK is he's the MVP, bro. I like him. So he was trying to bring gold back, and they shot my man's, and he's not here anymore with us, but he's a real cool president. So we need to look into that. That'll be a dope topic to talk about for episode 18. But also, I want to talk about the fact that a couple of days ago, when I was in the snow with my dog, we went to the dog park. And normally, when we're in the apartment complex, I normally like let him out. Like if it's quiet and I don't hear people, I give him the opportunity to go and just roam the apartments, like on not by my side, but like kind of in front of me a little bit. But I don't know if he was like super excited to be in the snow or something like that. But I let him off the leash, and when I say he took off full speed, running the opposite way, I just lost it, man. I started speed walking to him, and I started realizing he wasn't listening to me. He took around the corner, and all I started to hear was like these little kids screaming and hollering. And I'm like, oh man, I don't. So I had to cut through the apartments, and I found out where he was, and come to find out, all he wanted to do was just play with them. But the little kids was like, I don't have time for this. And I asked the kids, I was like, are you good, bro? He was like, I'm good, but I'm just trying to find my little brother. Have you seen him? And I was like, nah, man, I haven't seen him. So that's a pretty funny story. So every podcast I do now, I'm gonna try to like say more like funny stories or funny episodes that happened to me during the week. So yeah, back to what I was getting to with the men and the women. I probably will rant about this for a little bit more, but for the women out there, a lot of women have been making posts recently. They have been making questions. I know recently I seen a post where this girl was like, would men date a girl who made an OnlyFans? Me personally, I would never date a woman who has made an OnlyFans because I feel like if that's the type of woman that you want in your life, that's what you will attract. And I feel like if you want a positive, healthy relationship, why would you want your relationship to be based off of always being sexual and pleasing? I would say pleasing you, but it could also be pleasing with for the like. Sometimes people get pleased off of like people's like money that they give them or the reaction to like a post or something like that. But I feel like if you want to date someone like that, that's not gonna be a positive aspect in your life. I mean, maybe if you like that stuff, then cool, yeah, run with it. But a lot of people keep getting sucked into this whole sexual need and please and I need it right now attitude, and that's gonna drive a lot of people insane. Testosterone levels are just gonna be all messed up and just out of there. And a lot of women are taking advantage of the situation. Like it's cool, go get your bread and be about your bread, but at the same time, it's like you're also damaging us men out here. You say you want a good man, but you're also damaging him by posting this content that you putting out here. Like women need to understand their self value and their self like respect yourself as a woman. A lot of women been taught that when you were a kid. Like respect yourself as a woman. How do you expect men to respect you, or how do you expect a man to respect you? But you on social media twerking, you on social media posting about your feet, doing all this stuff, but you want a man to respect you. A man can't respect you with what you're posting, what you're putting out there, because to him that looks like okay, bet she just wants to have some fun, and that's it. Close end of discussion. And while a lot of women get hurt, a lot of people will be in a relationship. They'll start talking to a person for maybe like 3 months to 6 months. What do they do after that? One, they either get married, or two, they get into a relationship. And it's like, how do you even? You don't even know this person. Like, y'all only been talking for 3 months, and you telling me y'all ready to be in a serious relationship, live together, to have sexual intercourse all the time, and possibly put a ring on it? That right there is why the divorce rate is high as yeah, it is as high as it is, because we have people who don't take the time and quality and effort to understand who this person is before they have a kid with them or before they get married. And that hurts bad, man. The divorce rate is extremely high. Um and people would, like I said earlier, people would play the blame game. People would be like, "Oh, it's that person's fault that we divorced," or that situation happened, and that's why we divorced. But it's like, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Come back to yourself. Like, did y'all not click from the beginning? Or what happened? Did you do something? Did you change something that she didn't like? Or did something happen in the bed that y'all just never experienced before? Or you never grew the nuts to ask her what she wants to experience in her bedroom? Like, it takes rules to understanding stuff. Like, when you have a dog as a puppy, you need to teach him certain things for him to be a obedient dog. It's the same thing as like being in there talking to someone. You need to teach this person how you feel and what you like. Same thing with the other person. Like, if that person doesn't like, if that person does not fit in your category of being the perfect man or perfect woman, do not waste your time on that person. Like, for the men out there, when I was giving out dating advices in a couple podcasts ago, like, a lot of men will go on social media dating apps. There's nothing wrong with that. They will go in there and they will give them long, long paragraphs and conversations. Like, women do not want to hear that. It's like, get to the point. Like, it's hey, she says hey back. Hey, how are you doing? How's your day? Blah blah blah. And then it's like, cool, bet. When can I set up the date? When can I talk to you in person? Because when you talk to that person and when you talk to that person in person, it helps it out even more because humans like the interaction through other humans. Like, that's how humans thrive, is by talking to each other, getting touch, feel, smell. That's how we thrive throughout life and bring happiness towards each other. So if you're going in a toxic relationship or if you're trying to get in a relationship, do not rush the process. Take your time to understand that person. Take your time to understand yourself because you never know within the next 3 months to 6 months if you're talking to this person, your life might change or your mentality might change or your aspect on certain things might change. So it's okay to sit back and take that time to not rush things. And if the person doesn't like it, cool. That's okay. Don't hold that person against their will. Let them go and let them go on with their life. Like, there's plenty of fishes in the sea. So take that time to understand each other first before making that next move. Or understand each other first before you try having a kid with a person that you truly don't understand. For the women out there, one more thing: a lot of women like to put men on child support. I don't wish child support on anybody, man or woman or baby. It doesn't matter. And a lot of women take advantage of that situation. And a lot of men, don't get me wrong, a lot of men don't take care of their family members like they're supposed to. So this whole podcast was a whole topic about men and women, but it's okay. So another thing that I also want to talk about, I'm gonna get kind of deep into it, is the difference between understanding who's a real person on social media and who's just a fake person pushing out things that they're not even doing. So for the people out there that's on social media right now that's been trying to post these crazy conspiracy theories or trying to post all these crazy outlet news that they've seen on social media without actually taking the time to do the research, can you please stop putting out this fake outlet news and get yourself together mentally first? I'm asking you nicely. Like, I don't even have to ask because it's like, why are you doing that? I never understood why people. Don't get me wrong. I was that type of person last year in 2020 when COVID first started. I was like, COVID this, COVID that. I'm not getting the vaccine, by the way, but COVID this and COVID that. Like, conspiracy theory this, conspiracy theory that. I was like, hold on a second. Let me just take a step back to realize what I'm saying right now is not like actual news. I'm just putting out things that's fake. And the more and more you start realizing that, as I was talking to Mr. Paul, PL, shout out to PL Culture, the Extra Point Show, if you want to check him out, he's on fbrn.us, shout out to PL. But um, the more and more you start going down this rabbit hole, you start realizing that you're turning yourself to be insanely crazy. Like, and that's why a lot of people, when they start learning more about conspiracy theories or they start learning more, they start paying attention a little bit more to politics and they start getting deep into politics. You average people like myself or just people who don't really like pay attention to politics or certain things, that's why they think that these people are crazy and they're lunatics, like, and they're just psychos because some of them kind of are. Like, to be real with you, some of them kind of are. They don't have a clue on what they're talking about. They have no idea what they're talking about. They're just talking about either things where they seen a influence say an influence on Instagram that has no clue about what they're saying, or they just seen some random post that probably was a video that got uploaded from back in 2010 that got resurfaced in 2021 that they probably think is the truth. Like, for those people, they really have help. I mean, they really have issues and they need help. Like, the more and more you start looking at conspiracy theories and you start going down a rabbit hole, you literally start losing your mind, bro. And it starts getting crazy because I start realizing now that, like, a lot of people, the things that they've been saying is like totally insane. I would never understand why people do that. And it's just I never understood because a lot of people talk about, oh, we need to work together and be more of a community, but it's like you got certain individuals who talk so much and promote so much about being working as a team, but they go home and be selfish to their own family members and they friends. And but you want the world to come together, but you can't even start with yourself. So in order for America to get together the right way, every person in America needs to get themselves together first. And to be honest with you, the way it's looking, we have too many selfish people here, and that isn't gonna happen. Like, too many people blame each other. Too many people blame certain things. Like, if it's that serious, then go to a third world country and see how it is over there. They don't have it. They don't have anything over there that's gonna benefit you. The thing about America, actually, before I get into it, we have more foreigners who like America more than we have people who was actually born and raised in America. We have foreigners who like America more than the actual American people on American soil, and that is absolutely BS. That is sad to me, and that's not okay. Like, the thing about America is we have the opportunity and we have like how should I say, we have the option to do whatever we want to do. We can do whatever we want in America. But when you go to other countries, they can't do what they want to do. They deal with corruption, they deal with all types of weird stuff, viruses and that. And for the people out here in America that's like downplaying America, saying this and that and the football bat, go live a week or a month in a third world country and you tell me how it is. You're gonna be calling America so quick, it isn't gonna make any sense. Like, people don't realize what they have, and eventually, if it keeps it up, it's gonna be taken away. And then what? It's gonna be too. Who can you blame if America goes down the shithole? Who are you gonna blame? You can't blame nobody but yourselves because this is your land. This is your house. It's just like taking care of your house. If you don't take care of this house, what do you like? What do you expect the outcome to be like? America is so full of it. Like, just for Texas, for example, we can't even handle a snowstorm, or we can't even handle people tripping over a snowstorm. Like, just tripping out. And like, we have countries like Russia, we got China, we got all these countries literally watching our every move. And it's sad to see other countries, presidents or governor or whatever they call it over there, they're literally shaming on us because of the crazy stuff that's happening right now. And we're supposed to be the number one leading nation, the number one bully, and all that. And we can't even handle a snowstorm. What does that tell you? America is falling into a bad bunker. Like I was talking about in the office, we used to do the Pledge of Allegiance. We used to take our hats off. Like, we used to represent the flag. But now you got people downplaying the military. You got people talking about the military. You got people being disrespectful to veterans that put their life on the line to make it better for us. Like, we went through crazy amount of wars, and people are promoting to have another war. Like, do you know how war works? War, there's no law. There's nothing when war happens. Like, there's all free game. Like, it doesn't matter if you're white or black. Like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter if you're white or black or Indian. Like, in war, you are an American. If China was to attack us, they don't look at us as black or white, like I said before. They look at us as an American. So if we was to get attacked, we all get attacked as one. We need to come together as a team and figure it out because we have people in office who clearly don't want to take care of us in any type of way. They're not trying to give us no type of leadway. They're not trying to give us nothing for us Americans to survive. So obviously we need to start from the big house, but we need to start as a community, like I was saying, plenty over and over again. Like this is completely sad to see Americans Americans fighting against Americans. Think about it. Russia is over there sitting there watching us being like, wow, look at these fools over here attacking each other because we can't get handle COVID or we can't handle a tornado. We can't handle all this stuff. Like we have all these resources and this money and we can't handle a small situation for a week. Like that should hurt a lot of people's feelings, bro. Like that should hurt the way you feel and the way that like this is yeah, it's just kind of completely mind blowing to me that a lot of people don't see like what's behind all this. A lot of people just like to sugarcoat stuff. So I personally feel like I'm doing okay. My family's doing good, but everybody needs to do a reality check going into the next couple more months because we're still in the beginning of the year, and a lot of people made 2021 goals. And if you stop doing it, it's okay for you to get back up and keep going because we're still in the first quarter. We're still here in the beginning of the year. We got like a couple more months to go. My birthday's coming up in April, so things are getting real litty here pretty soon. So um, it feels good to be back on the podcast, man. I've been out for 3 weeks almost because on February 6th, if you guys missed it, Alpha Gaming, my gaming team, we had our own gaming tournament. It turned out to be a little average. It wasn't what I was expecting, but we probably will have another one here coming soon. So if you missed the tournament, I actually hosted it. I screen shared it and all that, and was going back and forth and like commenting and everything. So if you missed it, you can go watch it on Twitch at YF_Onte and check it out on there. And then I also want to give a big shout out to Fishbowl Radio Network for allowing me to come in here today because like I was saying before, I've been out because of this dang storm. So it feels good to be back, man. If you're watching on Facebook, man, I appreciate you watching on Facebook. Make sure you like and share. And this is a quick EP, episode 17. It was a good one. I appreciate everybody. If you're watching on YouTube, I ain't forget about your YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you like, share, and comment. It's your boy Onte. I will see you guys in episode 18. Have a good one. Stay blessed. Stay warm. Let's go.